Hi, I'm Kerry Blaser, Mary Magdalene Soul. Yesterday, I made something that I thought would be helpful for everyone. It is my Divine Feminine self-love strategies, and there's 6. And these are the main strategies that I use to heal myself every day. So I thought if I could, do a short write-up. It's 4.5 pages. It will be in my website soon, probably next week, and just to help everybody get some perspective. And I explain these techniques supported by the laws of physics and physiology, because when something's true, it's true in multiple places. And that is what I really like, that I have a very much engineering left brain and a highly intuitive right brain, and that enables me to kind of break everything down as simply as possible so it's easy to understand, and you can, go about your life and process your emotions and hopefully attain enlightenment too. Please like and subscribe if you like my videos. So these pieces of wisdom will help you become more aligned with self-love as we create heaven on earth together. And so here are the 6 pieces of wisdom. Appreciate, learn, and forgive equals ego death, and we'll talk about each one. Then the love hierarchy, about who you should love first and second and third. Learn to surf the waves of life. The universe is a mirror. Changing the world is an inside job. Pain is an initiation process for personal growth. Okay, so let's start with appreciate, learn, and forgive. And I'm going to read from what I wrote just to help me, stay on track and get all the information out. So I'll be, looking up and down. I call my first strategy, appreciate, learn, forgive equals ego death. While healing from my trauma, I realized that I was going through the same process every time. I saw a pattern, right? First, I had to accept gratitude in my heart for the life lesson, for the challenge. Appreciation or gratitude is a heart opener, which is a necessary first step to surrendering to your emotional pain. Balance in life is balance between action and surrender. Women surrender their emotional pain way more, and men act way more. But men also need to surrender, some, and women also need to act some. So individually, we have a balance of masculine and feminine. Okay, so gratitude prepares the body hormonally to open and surrender to pain as it takes one out of, fight or, flight, fawn, all of the kind of imbalanced behaviors when you're super anxious, super fearful, those lower vibrating emotions. It takes you out of that and into an openness so that you can go inside yourself. It's a first step. Next, learn your lessons through self-reflection. Once your heart is open and you've surrendered to your pain, it's time to dive into that pain and find the wisdom within. It's like the coal's been suppressed and the diamond's going to appear, okay? So ask yourself these questions until you learn the wisdom stored inside of your emotional wound. What is the wisdom inside of my wound? Just ask yourself. Please show me this wisdom. It's that simple, I swear. When you're ready, it's that simple. But you have to trust what you hear. Like one time I had a hard time apologizing to my daughter. So I asked myself, why can't I apologize? Why can't I show gratitude? Why can't I self-reflect? And I was told that I believe, and my subconscious is talking to me, my shadow, that if I apologize, people will leave me, which is a wound and what I call inverted wisdom. Wisdom says, when I know how to apologize, people want to be my friend because I can admit when I'm wrong. And we all are wrong. We're human. We all make mistakes. So admitting we're wrong and that we learn, we change and grow is part of the healthy process. So you can also ask, why was this challenge necessary for my growth? What can I learn from this experience? There's a whole plethora of questions, just internal questions. It's basically corralling you in your pain so that you can look within it. Like, this is my pain here. This is what I'm dealing with. Where's that wisdom? And okay, there it is. You see? But if you're like going, I'm over here and I'm over here and I'm over here, really hard to find the wisdom when you're just all over the place. So corral the pain so you can understand the pain. Healthy boundary with self. Then when the wisdom is revealed to you, the wound will release just naturally. Forgiveness for yourself and others happens naturally after you reveal the wisdom inside the wound. That's what I found. So yes, forgiveness is there, but it just kind of flows right after you find the wisdom. Yeah, it's really nice that way. Lastly, you see that I didn't mention remorse or regret. That is intentional. Our souls plan our lives for based on our wounds, for self-improvement opportunities. No one is a victim, and there is no regret or remorse in a healthy, balanced soul. And we are all souls having a human experience. Our souls house all knowledge and wisdom in the universe. Everything is in our soul too. How amazing is that? Okay, which is a lot more than I learned in this one lifetime. What Kerry is cognizant of is, minuscule compared to what the universe knows, right? And my stepfather always taught me, if I knew what I didn't know, then I might know something. So I love that wisdom. And I have a saying, if you don't like your life, file a grievance with your soul. Your soul plans everything, orchestrates everything. So the only way to change your life is to change your soul, and that's why change is an inside job. Okay, let's go on to the next one while I put my hair up. The reason I have my hair up all the time is I get really hot, and so I have something here. I'm in Ventura, California, and it's quite humid here right now, and I'm in my garage, and there's no air conditioning in here. So I'm doing my best. Okay, so the love hierarchy. And as you see, I got that structural left brain and that intuitive right brain, but you put it together and there's the balance, right? Men understand it and women understand it. So yay, right? So self-love comes first, and here's why. I must fill my own cup first, my own cup of love for myself first in my heart, ensuring my heart overflows with love, not depletion or resentment, lack. Only then can I interact with myself and others from a place of love rather than lack. So in my cup of love, like I love myself, and I have so much extra, then I have healthy love to share with other people. That's why I've spent the last 10 years healing before I, came out, but the timing is perfect because everybody projected the rapture for this week. And, I came out as a Mary Magdalene soul on on September 14th, 2025, which is right before they projected for the Messiah to return. And I didn't plan that because I didn't even know that I had so many signs and synchronicities that my soul was Mary Magdalene until this year after I published my book. So, I didn't know. Okay, so self-love comes first, then spouse love comes second. A strong, balanced relationship requires intentional care. Loving my partner properly strengthens the foundation of our connection, allowing it to stand the test of time in a healthy, supportive way. So I love myself, I have overflowing that I can share with a partner. And then together we have overflowing that we can then share with the kids. And us being that strong creates the safest environment for the kids, right? So child love comes third. When self-love and spouse love come first, children are surrounded by 2 layers of healthy, unconditional love. This creates the best possible environment for them to feel emotionally and physically safe, setting them up for long-term well-being. Then comes family love, number 4. After loving my nuclear family, then I have time and energy to pour love on my extended family. Those important connections also support the health of my nuclear family. Like you start here and you slowly go out. Most people start on the outside, a wound, inverted wisdom, and then they had nothing left by the time they get back here. That's like when you tell 20-year-olds that they understand the world well enough to try to school us on politics. That's community love when they don't even know self-love, okay? That's inverted wisdom. Community love comes last. Only after prioritizing the core relationships in my life can I extend my love outward to my local community and the world. But also, when I follow the love hierarchy, I prepare myself to be able to pay it forward when my soul requests it, when the divine requests it, when the moments arise. And I'm always ready. So self-love comes first. Okay, the next one is learning to surf the waves of life. Okay, I'm going to quote Winston Churchill. It is said that famous men are usually the product of an unhappy childhood. Why? Okay, let's see. I wholeheartedly agree with Mr. Churchill. High-performing men have ambitious souls, like me. They seek challenging lives with opportunities for extreme levels of accomplishment. An unhappy childhood creates an opportunity to learn how to navigate the valley of darkness successfully in order to propel oneself to fantastical heights. They learn to surf the waves of life by running into profound challenges head on to become the best versions of themselves. This lesson applies to everyone. My soul planned a difficult childhood so I could gain tremendous wisdom. The depth of the wound determines the height of the wisdom. Equal amount of wound to equal amount of wisdom. If I want wisdom to sign of Mount Everest, I need a wound equally large. I need a wound equally deep to the height of Mount Everest. Like if here's reality and the wound goes deep, then the wisdom goes equally high. And that's the counterbalance in physics. And we'll talk about a physics experiment here in a second. Okay. They are directly correlated. The depth of the wound, the height of the wisdom. Younger souls take on easier lessons, while older, more advanced souls take on more painful lessons to have opportunities for expansion. The older the soul you are, the more difficult it is to have expansion opportunities. Like I attempted suicide this lifetime. That was gnarly, okay? And my children, my oldest daughter found me. She was 18 years old. My youngest daughter was in a residential facility for an eating disorder. That's how messed up my family is. How much challenge we're having. Okay, our souls plan our lives based on our wounds for self-improvement opportunities. Once you learn how to surf the waves of life, once you learn how to surf the smaller waves, bigger waves will come to challenge you, growing bigger and bigger as you mature. I go through so many hills and valleys daily, so many waves, I never could before, because I learned how to surf the waves of life with this wisdom I am sharing here. Our souls are energy bodies, so the laws of physics explain why hills and valleys are necessary in life for our personal ascension. On the way into the valley, the soul picks up momentum, speed, and inertia to climb the next mountain of wisdom. The following physics experiment shows how this is true. So, I don't know how to do the video, so I'm just going to tell you, okay? But all of these links in its description, it'll be a link to a Google Doc in the description, so you can go in there and get all this information if you'd like to, check it out. So there's 2 balls, and there's 2 tracks that are the same distance. One is slightly downhill, and one has hills and valleys. So the distance traveled here is technically longer. Which ball do you think reaches the finish line first? It's the one with the hills and valleys. Why? Because you need the propulsion inertia gain, momentum gain on the downhill slope to go up. And, okay, so let me tell you a little bit more about the physics, right? Additionally, the fluctuation between lower vibrating emotions, energy, because that's our souls are energy bodies, like fear and shame, and higher vibrating emotions like love and enlightenment, is what breathes life into energy. Without movement, energy dies. So learning to move through your emotions is essential to igniting life force energy into your soul. And included in my thing is the map of consciousness, which gives you more information about which frequency each emotion vibrates at. Okay. Now we're the third one, which is, the fourth one. The universe is a mirror. Okay, let's talk about how the universe is a mirror. Okay, so I have to talk a little bit about how our souls function, and then I'll get into the wisdom. Okay, a little bit of like science from Dr. Joe Dispenza and such. Okay, our souls project our emotions through our hearts. That is why Dr. Joe Dispenza says the electromagnetic field around our hearts is 5,000 times stronger than our brains. Additionally, the nervous system in our hearts is far more complex than our brains. Hearts send a lot more signals to the brain than the other way around. Rumi says, follow your heart, it knows the way. Okay? And heart, soul, same thing. Yeah. So our souls project how we feel about ourselves, about ourselves, because we're here for self-improvement opportunities, right? I'm not here to improve someone else. I'm here to improve myself, and then that self-improvement can be modeled to others, but they have to do it themselves. Okay, so so our souls project how we feel about ourselves through our hearts onto other souls, so we can understand and see ourselves, see the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful. Earth is a school for us to improve ourselves, so constant feedback is necessary. Okay, this is how the universe is a mirror. Okay, well, let's talk about the physiology. Our physiology supports this process. We have mirror neurons to help us learn from others to improve ourselves. When a soul projects itself, it vibrates at a certain frequency as an energy body. Other souls vibrating at the same frequency will pull your attention so you can see yourself, right? So if you're vibrating at shame, you'll notice shame. If you're vibrating at love, you'll notice love. And so when you're vibrating at shame, it seems like everything that draws your attention is shameful. So you think the world is shameful, and that's hell on earth. Okay. When your heart is vibrating at love, you're attracted to love, and then you create heaven on earth. No one's coming to save you, because you're the only one that has sovereignty over your own soul to change those wounds into wisdom and change your experience from negative to positive. Only you have sovereignty over your own soul. Okay. That's why Jesus can't forgive you and save you. It's not based on the laws of physics. It doesn't happen. Okay. So I'm just being logical here. Other souls, okay, when a soul projects itself, it vibrates at a certain frequency as an energy body. Other souls vibrating at that same frequency pull your attention so you can see yourself. When you call someone selfish, that is your soul showing you selfishness inside of you. So as you are only in control of you, you are only sovereign over you. Okay. When you call someone beautiful, that is your soul showing you the beauty inside of you. Okay. That is why you only need feedback about you to improve. It is an insular process. Okay. I'm modeling what to do, but I can't do it for you. And why would you want me to? We're all grown-ass adults that need to learn how to take care of ourselves, and we have a mental illness crisis. Okay. One of the difficult lessons I'm here to deliver is no one's coming to save you. And I just saw videos, everybody thought the rapture was on the 23rd, 24th, and 25th. And people in Africa going, oh, they're coming, they're coming. We're all still here. So here is a physics experiment to show you how this works. When energy vibrates at the same frequency, it moves other objects who also vibrate at that same frequency, drawing your attention and resonance. That is why people say we all live in our own reality. It's because we have an insular process. You and I can see the same movie and learn completely different things, all based on how our soul is vibrating. How many wounds, how much wisdom. Okay. What draws my attention is different from what draws yours. This amazingly complex process is how each of us can learn different lessons in the same environment that are specific to our individual needs for growth. So there's a physics experiment. It's called a two-prong experiment, and one prong is tuned to 500 hertz and one prong is tuned to 400 hertz. When you move the 500 hertz, the 400 hertz doesn't move. There is no quantum entanglement. Okay, no quantum entanglement. The 2022 Nobel Peace Prize on quantum entanglement showed this. Quanta are the smallest particle in the universe that can connect from any place in the universe when there's resonance. Okay, so here, 500 and 400, no resonance. 400 and 400, tons of resonance. See? So, okay. And then changing the world is an inside job. Protests don't do it. Why does self-love create heaven on earth? And why is change an inside job? You may be asking yourself. That is because the universe is a mirror, creating your personal experience of the world based on the wounds and wisdom in your soul. Reality is a projection of how you feel about yourself. Here's an example. So you might not know, but during my healing journey, I attracted several prominent men into my life to mirror my wounds back to me, because the universe is a mirror, right? So one of those guys was Andrew Tate through a personal relationship with his best friend, Justin Waller. Okay. So when I was talking to Andrew Tate's soul when he was in solitary confinement, because I met Justin in June of 2022 and Andrew was placed in solitary confinement that next fall. I had the following conversation with him in solitary confinement, right? And I have resonance with a man in solitary confinement, okay? And there's a picture here, I'll show you that in a second. So Andrew, you know that your external reality is a projection of your internal reality and how you feel about yourself, right? His soul said, yeah. So I said, from that perspective, why are you in solitary confinement? And that is the question that corrals him as an emotional pain, so that he has, this just this area to kind of dig for the wisdom, okay, inside of himself, as opposed to just being everywhere, right? The picture is a statue called Emptiness, and it's about a grieving parent. It's a head, arms, legs, and the whole center is gone. So you see through, it's like there's just no heart, and that was me. That's how I felt my whole life. This picture is how internally isolated I felt, which might help you understand how much Andrew rejected himself internally as well. The reason my soul was chosen to help him heal is I felt as internally isolated and rejected as he did. Our souls resonated in our depths of self-rejection. I sat in my recliner in the dark in my garage, talking to him for a few hours per day for several months. I understood him because I understood myself. We can only meet people as deeply as we meet ourselves. That's why it's so important to do the internal work, so you connect to yourself so deeply, and then you can attract more, deeper, fulfilling experiences into your life because you resonate with a deep internal connection with self. Since our external reality is a projection of our internal emotional reality, you must transform more wounds into personal wisdom to resonate with more positive life experiences. If I'm putting out love, then I'm resonating with love. If I'm putting out shame, I'm resonating with shame. Okay? That's just laws of physics. The more you love yourself, the more you will attract loving experiences into your life, creating more fulfilling and respectful relationships and life experiences. Heaven on earth. Heaven's not coming. Heaven's here. I live in Ventura, California on the beach. Have you been here? How is this not heaven on earth? The only thing that's not heaven is the hell in their personal relationships with everybody. I got to stay inside all the time because I don't want to talk to people. It's a nightmare. Everyone gets triggered by me and tries to control me. And like even people I've known for a long time because they haven't healed. Carrie, what? Carrie, why don't you go get a job? How am I going to do that while I'm experiencing enlightenment all day long, which I already told you, and that all I can do is lay in my recliner and make a couple of videos? I'm helping the collective, but I should go do more, right? I'm not doing enough. Didn't you know I'm not doing enough? Right. But that is how she felt about herself projected onto me, and I just don't have energy for it. I deal with so much of that all day long. I'll just be alone. Okay, but I'm looking forward to a time when I can go to a 4th of July block party with kids and barbecue and games. Everybody's laughing and dancing and kids are having fun. That is heaven on earth. Okay, so now for the physics experiment. And I know I'm getting hot, okay? Energy naturally aligns with the highest vibrating frequency. The higher my soul vibrates with self-love, the more influential my soul becomes. Okay? The more wisdom I unveil inside of my soul, the more impactful my soul becomes as wisdom vibrates higher than a wound. Well, you would hope so, right? So when we all love ourselves more and we're all more wise, we will stop projecting self-hate onto the world in terms of violence and abuse, creating healthier societies, relationships, and families. Heaven on earth. You can choose heaven on earth or you can choose hell on earth. It is up to you. There's a lot of people who are living on heaven on earth right now. And, I have to say, my life now is friggin' incredible. So I said, yeah, heaven on earth, but I had to create it, and I did. Okay. So we project this, but why is, how does this impact other people? Okay. So when my heart is projecting more positivity, right, then other people have an opportunity to internalize that positivity and they can also create more heaven on earth, right? So there's a metrodome experiment. And when there's two metronomes super fast, the faster the energy, the higher vibrating, the more powerful, the more transformative. So two are really fast, and the other ones are kind of, within a minute, the other three align with the fast ones. So I know that my work here, talking to souls, is experiencing enlightenment, and all the wisdom I'm unveiling in my soul, I'm sending out as kind of like opportunities for other people to internalize and kind of see that wisdom in themselves. And so this metronome experiment shows that what I'm doing is the right path, you know. Oh gosh, I'm so hot. Okay, give me 1 second, I'm turning on the fan. Thank you for bearing with me while I do my best like everybody else, okay? Okay, so the last one is, let me go back to the top, make sure I got it right. Pain is an initiation process to personal growth. And so let's see how that works, okay? Pain is beautiful because it reveals what longs to be healed. Unveiling this wisdom inside of my soul required a lengthy and excruciating initiation process. We need pain to bring us into our lower vibrating emotions, into our valley of darkness, in preparation for eventual ascent to our next mountaintop. This is how we dive into the depths of our shadow or subconscious to unveil more wisdom. When life is easy, why search for more self-belief and self-love in your shadow? Like, everything's fine, right? When I am alone in the rain with a flat tire, that is when I have the inertia and like momentum, kind of, you know, purpose to dig deeper inside of myself, to find the resilience to be successful at a difficult task. So I find more self-belief. I could do this. The rain, it doesn't matter. I've done it. I was like 17 whenever I did it. Challenge breeds growth. Just it is, based on the laws of physics. I've done everything I can to try to get around the hills and valleys, learn to surf the waves of life, but because energy has to fluctuate between higher vibrating and lower vibrating energy to breed life, you can't get around the laws of the universe, okay? Pain is not a punishment. Souls mature when they expand their emotional range as they learn to surf the waves of life. More advanced souls plan tougher initiation processes so they have opportunities for expansion. For example, Jeffrey Epstein had a very advanced soul to dive into the depths of sexual abuse as deeply as he did. I helped his soul forgive himself and go into the light after he died so he could reincarnate with more wisdom than wounds. And I have a YouTube video that I link below. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. Thank you for being patient with me while I get hot, while I'm channeling all this energy, and while my technical skills aren't great, but I'm just doing my best. All right, so have a wonderful day. I hope this helps you. I'm going to change this a little bit, and then I'll put it in the description, and you'll have access to all this information, kind of like a cheat sheet for self-love techniques. All right, have a great day. Help me create heaven on earth, okay? Love yourself more. Bye.